Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's D Revolution. Please like, subscribe, and comment to my page. I will be answering your questions, but you have to leave me a comment. You have to like. Today I'm going to talk about the first steps I take to storytelling. And again, as I say in all my videos, I speak to you from my experience. I mean, there are different ways to do things, different ways to different approaches. But as far as information that I bring you, specific information, I do my research. And someone said not that long ago that my stuff was wrong. I mean, if I'm wrong, then Google's wrong, because that's where I get all my research. I do all my research, and I just bring it to you guys. I would never. And as a matter of fact, before I make a video talking about specifics of writing, I do my research again to make sure I'm bringing the correct information. So, I've written 3 books, 4 screenplays, and I've recorded 3 spoken word CDs. So, I'm going to give you, if you're a beginning writer, I'm going to give you some of the steps that I take as a writer and actually apply it. And this is what I do every time. First, you must understand that there is a middle, there's a beginning, a middle, and end to a story. 3 phases, no matter what. And your job is to bring all those phases together to make one story. So one of the first things that I do is think about the story. I think about it before I sit down and write it. I think about the story, and I come up with the concept. And what I mean is that when I think of a story, I try to figure out how it could be original and what would be different about my story than anybody else's, because what you don't want to do, in my opinion, is have a cliche story. So adding a unique concept, having a unique concept to your story, and I mean, concept is kind of a general term, but a concept basically means to me having something original and something a little bit different that people didn't expect. So that's like my first thing. Now, another very important thing is when you start to get to the middle of your story. I mean, you have to think all of this through. When you start to get to the middle of the story, it's very important to have a subplot. It's very important to have a subplot. And subplot is what really carries the middle of your story, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have a powerful subplot that can work for you during the plot of the story, then your story is going to be lacking or without I guess we could say meat and potatoes to it. It has to be a full story. Trying to tell a story in a straight line is not going to give you much story to write about. But having a story, a subplot, this happens over here, this happens over here, is going to give you more of a full story. And once you are comfortable with every step that I just mentioned, you should sit and begin writing. And when you start to sit and begin writing, basically some things are going to develop that you didn't originally think about that's going to help you with your story. I've been writing for 30 years, and it always has happened to me. In the middle of a story, you start thinking of other things to do, other things to put in there, other things to push the story forward that you didn't originally have. That was an original a thought in your thought process. So basically, I personally feel like your subplot is just as important as the plot. I feel like I've really mastered automatically thinking of a subplot and different things, because if you don't catch the reader's attention, in my opinion, within the first 50 or 60 pages, they're going to toss the side. They're not going to continue. And honestly, I'm being generous when I say that. Some readers want you to catch them in the first 20 pages. But, some readers are more patient than others. So you want to get your story going make sure your story is going, and the reader knows. You're taking the reader, when the first 56 pages get in, they want to know what you're talking about, and kind of, oh, where's this gonna go? That's what's gonna make them keep reading. So you have at least 50 to 60 pages to develop that from your readers, to make them want to keep reading your book. So with that being said, the ending of your story is just as important as the beginning, because if you go through a whole process and then your ending falls flat, then you've done it all for nothing. Because the ending, there's a lot of people that look forward to the ending more than anything. They want to, and then people try to predict your story as well. So that's when I say having the original concept, which you don't want, in my opinion. At least I don't want it. I don't want nobody figuring out my ending before they get to it. I really want to be able to twist and turn and take them totally somewhere where they didn't think they were going to go. And I've been pretty successful at doing that with my writing. Take them somewhere they didn't want to go. Don't let them figure out the ending before the end of the book. And if they do, that means that your storytelling and your story, your concept is cliche. And that's something that you don't want to be known for. Again, I said in other videos, writing a good story is going to do half the work for you. And so I think a lot of authors don't know how important that ending is. But as I said in other videos also, know the ending of your story when you're thinking it out. Don't sit down and start writing without knowing how your story is going to end. Again, that's just my opinion, and that's what I do. Know how your story is going to end, because it's going to make for a better traction in your story, because you know where it's going. And when you know where it's going, you have the freedom to put anything here, there, everywhere you want, because you already know how it's going to end. So I'm D-Revolution. I need you guys to support me, like and subscribe to my page. Leave a comment. I really want to help you guys, and I would never bring you guys wrong information. I've written 3 books, 4 screenplays, and I've recorded 3 spoken word CDs. I've been writing for 30 years. Like and subscribe to my page. You'll be glad you did. Peace.